Hi, this is Michael Dermer here, and we're here to talk about why you need a cash flow statement and why it's so important. You know, businesses succeed or fail because of cash, right? And most businesses don't make it because they run out of cash, not because they don't have great ideas. So what does it actually mean to have a cash flow statement? So why is a cash flow statement so important? You know, a cash flow statement really in an early business is the lifeblood of how you stay alive and move forward. So think about that. So cash is the lifeblood of your business, right? So you have to think about the cash that's coming in and the cash that's going out. That's really all that a cash flow statement is, okay? You take a look at what are all my sources or inflows of cash. So what are they? They're the things that you sell or your revenue, right? They might be financing you get, right? Whether it's a loan or money from friends and family or equity investments. Those are your sources of cash, okay? And then you have your outflows or your uses of cash. So what might those be? The main part is your expenses, right? What are all the expenses of running your business? It might be insurance or your office space, right? Or your employees. All those expenses require cash. But then you have other things like loan repayments that you have to make, right? So if you think about a cash flow statement, all you're really saying is, what is my money coming in? What is my money going out? And is that the net of those two things? Is that positive? Right? Am I generating cash or am I burning cash, right? And if you're burning cash, you have to have a way to make up that deficit, okay? So when creating your cash flow statement, right, how do you go about doing it, okay? First, and probably the most important thing is, how am I forecasting my sales or my revenue, right? And sometimes that's really hard, especially when you're doing something new, right? So the key is, okay, how do I be realistic about what I'm going to actually generate, right? If I open up a new retail store where I'm selling donuts, I've got to try to figure out exactly what amount of donuts I'm going to sell. And you're not going to get it perfect. But here's what I would say. When you're thinking about cash, be conservative, right? Build your plan based on your most conservative estimates. Next, you go to the other side, which is your expenses, okay? So how do you forecast your expenses, right? In the beginning, right, we talk about when your startup costs and everything it takes to get going. But now we're at the point where we're running our business and we want to know, okay, what are the ongoing expenses of the business? So there's two major types of expenses. The first are fixed, right? Fixed expenses don't change depending on how much you sell. So a great example of that is rent, right? Most of the time, your office space and what you pay, whether you sell one donut or 1,000 donuts, doesn't change. Those are your fixed expenses. But then you have your variable expenses, right? So think about it in my donut analogy, right? As you make more donuts, right, you need more dough, right? You might need more machinery and equipment. So there's your fixed expenses and your variable expenses that you have to build into your whole expense base when thinking about putting together your cash flow statement. Okay, so we've gotten the basics of I kind of know what I'm going to sell. I know what my expenses are. Here are some other tips you have to keep in mind. Take into account what they call seasonality, right? Are you going to sell the same amount of things all the time every month? Or are there seasons to your business, right? For example, if you think about holiday shopping, right? There's lots of retailers that make a big part of their revenue and their sales in the fourth quarter around the holidays, right? There's other businesses that don't do really well in the winter. I mean, think about the travel business, right? Is anybody going down to Miami, Florida in the middle of August? Probably not. So think about how you have ups and downs and fluctuations in your revenue. And in that cash flow statement, you need to take that into account. Next is how you spend marketing dollars, right? You have to really think about, okay, I need to generate revenue and I'm spending marketing dollars or I'm running promotional activities, whatever that is. You want to try to tie that spending as close as you can to when you generate the sales. And that's not always that easy, okay? But the point is, you shouldn't just continue to spend marketing dollars if you can't see how it connects to how you're generating revenue. When you do that, your cash needs go up, but your revenue or your cash sources don't follow along, okay? So really try to create the discipline in your cash flow of tying your marketing or promotional activities to sales. Finally, when you think about outside resources that you might get, like loans that provide a source of cash to you, you have to think about how those loan repayments flow into your cash flow. Remember, you have your normal inflows of sales and outflows of expenses, but then you've got these loan payments. Try to structure your loans, if you can, that these payments go along with the ups and downs of your business, right? So if you generate a lot of revenue in January, so you have a lot more cash in January, try to structure your loan payments so they line up with those types of year, right? Think about an organization that runs restaurants for places near the beach, right? And you have summer months, right, from like Memorial Day to Labor Day, right? And that's where restaurants really do well, right? During that time, they generate a lot of cash and they have dollars to spend. But think about in the middle of February or March, where nobody's going to the beach, right, in cold weather climates. So you really try to time up things like loan repayments, if you can, to be structured to follow how your cash comes in and how your cash comes out, okay? These are a couple of tips for you, but probably most importantly is you have to create a discipline around where your cash comes from. So knowing exactly where and when it's coming in, where and when it's coming out is critical to running your business. And I can tell you, the day that you get to what they call cash flow positive, which is the day that actually, as your business runs, it doesn't burn cash, it generates cash, is a really exciting day. Okay? To learn more about a cash flow statement and how important it is, take a look at some of the other materials we've created you inside this lesson.